All right, music fans, welcome back. It is I, Dave, the Real Music Observer, coming at you with more real music in real time for real people just like you right there and me here. Now, I wasn't going to do a video. I just jumped on Twitter and I've been on Facebook off and on today. I did a couple of videos about Journey Through Time last night. And it seems as though, again, this is becoming a real issue for me, a pet peeve of mine. And I have this platform, and you're welcome to make your own video countering this video, or you're welcome to start your own channel. Call it the All Steve Perry All the Time channel. Call it the Please Don't Compare Anyone or Anything to Steve Perry. Okay, so last night, Journey Through Time, Deen Castronovo. And it's almost as if people are just like this. Like, I don't want to hear it. Yeah, he sounds good, but I don't want to. Did he sound like Steve? Okay. There's somebody on Twitter, friend of mine, or we follow each other, and she said, at times last night, I almost thought it was Steve. I've had other people say, "Holy crap, Batman," or Dave, or whoever. Dean's singing these songs in the original key. Now, why is that epic? And by the way, I heard someone in the front row, when they began one of the songs, start yelling, "He's singing it in the correct key." Why is that important? Because I'm pretty sure when you go see Journey with the other singer that they have, his first name begins with an A and ends with an L, he's probably singing a half step down. Okay, now, and he's at times he's struggling out there. I saw it at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I've seen it in other places, other moments. Okay, so why is that key? Well, it's because, number one, to sing it in the original key, you've got to be Steve Perry circa 1980, 82, 83 before his vocal cords got shredded. All right? And what Dean was able to do last night was phenomenal. Now, I've heard a couple of people say, "Oh, but he was off here and there." Okay. All right. Maybe. Every song I've heard was very well done. If there was a note off here or there, keep in mind, these guys rehearsed for 4 or 5 days. 4 or 5 days they rehearsed, okay? Secondly, Steve Perry was never playing drums and singing at the same time. Okay? I can't, and this all goes back to a video I did a while ago called Steve Perry Derangement Syndrome. All right? You're waiting for Steve's album to come out. First of all, again, Steve Perry is almost 70 years old. Okay? Just had a birthday. He's closing in on 70. It's going to happen. Now, Greg Raleigh is 70, but he's got a different kind of singing style and a deeper voice and so forth. He's not straining to hit high notes for the most part. So Greg is up there, and he did phenomenal last night. But I'm focusing on these Steve Perry people. First of all, you don't have to watch my videos because I am not a sycophant for Steve Perry. Do I hope his album comes out? Sure. Do I think it's going to sound anything like he did 10, 20, 30 years ago? No, I don't. In fact, I've heard that the album is a masterpiece. This is what I was told. However, it's Steve Perry now, and it sounds much different than Steve Perry then. Okay? You want to watch the Eels performance from 2014? You're going to hear Steve at least a full step down, having difficulty. I've had people say I couldn't even watch it because I was feeling really bad for him. It was just awesome to have him out on stage and singing again. That's pretty much, and certainly you could give him the benefit of the doubt and say he was rusty. But you could also say the same thing about Deen Castronovo last night. I mean, he's not in Journey anymore, folks. Okay? He's not at home in front of the mirror belting out Walks Like a Lady. That's not what he's been doing. Dead Daisies, Revolution Saints. And by the way, the Revolution Saints, if you haven't heard them, they're amazing. You should go check out Revolution Saints. Now, why am I so fired up? And why did I not think I'd be doing another video again today, but I'm doing a video because this is really taking me off. Because the collective group of people who either attended the show or watched large portions of the show, the majority, the very high majority, 97, 98% of those people think the show was completely off the hook, off the charts, whatever cliche you'd want to use about this show. Okay? And people were raving. People who hadn't heard Deen before, because Deen's behind the drums, and when he was with Journey, they threw him a bone, and everybody was like, okay, he's going to sing Mother, Father. But last night, he wrapped his vocal cords around some tunes that were sacred ground. You know, Lights, Wheel in the Sky, Oh No. He killed it. For the most part, he killed it. And if you're going to fuss over a note or two, again, go back to the Eels performance from 2014 with Steve Perry. You know, I've been nice. I've been like benefit of the doubt, you know, maybe Steve can still do something, but people have this false hope that he's going to come out there and he's going to kill it. Now, the funny thing is, the same people who are being hypercritical about Deen Castronovo, if Steve Perry walked out on stage and sang half as good as that, it would be lights out, stop the presses, Steve Perry's back, the world's, you know, tilted a little on its axis, everything is great in your life. You can now move on. You can, you know, again, be friendly with your neighbors because you've been bitter since Steve Perry's been away. Okay, and look, I'm kind of losing it because I'm kind of tired of hearing about how nobody can be Steve Perry. Look, he's the greatest vocalist. I did this in another video. He's the greatest vocalist. But Deen Castronovo is 53 years old, so he's not a young man. He's killing it, though. He's killing it out there. Where was Perry at 53? Well, I think he was working on the hip. I think he was on hiatus because it's 2018, just turned 69. Do the math, right around, you know, he was 50, what, 18, 19 years ago? So, yeah, about 1999. So, Deen's got 3 years on Steve when Steve kind of vanished, all right? And Deen is singing all of these songs in the correct key and playing drums. Folks, I'm sorry, Deen's a great singer, and I would say, you know, from a scale of, you know, ratings A, B, and C, and, you know, when you got grades, I think Deen got a 97 last night. He got a 97, all right? And if you disagree, then sounds are subjective. If he's off on a note because the band's going here and he was going over there, or he's trying to keep up on drums, holy crap, Batman. Imagine if he was just out there. Deen isn't the big, like, I want to be the front man of the band, okay? He would rather be behind the kit. I know that for a fact. And if he were out there and he wasn't a recluse as a lead singer, I tell you what, he'd be hitting everything because he wouldn't have to worry about keeping time and being the drummer that he is back there. So I think when you make these assertions, you're making an uninformed judgment. And please don't do that on Twitter. Please don't come at me on Twitter and say something because you don't have a clue. Okay, you don't know what you're talking about. That's it. I'm done with this video. Deen Castronovo hit it out of the park. And this, I hope, becomes the new version of Journey. Don't know if it will. And by the way, compare Deen to Arnell, too. Do a little bit of that. I know they're friends, and I don't want to get in between those guys, but you got to think to yourself, who's singing the songs in the correct key, and who do you prefer listening to? And you may prefer Arnell. That's fine. I'm just saying I can compare Deen to Steve, to Arnell, to Steve Augeri, to Jeff Scott Soto, to whoever. And, you know, Robert Fleischman, he's a lot better than Robert Fleischman. Wouldn't you agree with that? No offense, Robert. Glad to see you back hanging out with Vinnie Vincent. Anyway, I'm done. That's my rant. Talk to you soon.